everybody, welcome back to another episode of McCall Media TV Live, whereby in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about my kind of last 24 hours research, as it were, into what actually counts as a view when YouTube basically is reporting the numbers, like number of views and things that you've got on your videos. Now, what does it actually consider a view and what does it not? What are the myths? What are the rumours and everything else concerning this? And there's actually quite a few bits that I'm going to be talking to you about today. I didn't realise it was quite such a big topic on YouTube, but it is, and this is a video today about my findings. So before we get going, don't forget I am live across all my social media networks. You can find me on my Facebook pages and groups, as well as on obviously YouTube and Periscope / Twitter at the moment. And one day, hopefully, LinkedIn will actually allow me to have a live license on their platform as well. So don't forget to subscribe, stay notified, and we'll get on with it. Okay then, so today's problem is what does it actually take, or what does YouTube actually class as a view on your videos? Because obviously we're working really hard trying to promote our businesses, trying to promote our knowledge, our skills, our expertise, and obviously it might be really quite handy to actually know if what we're doing is actually triggering the correct sort of protocols within the algorithm and all those kind of things. So today's problem is, what does YouTube class as a view? Okay, so we are basically going to dive straight in with the solution. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is that they have this thing called 300 views. I think there's a different term for it, but I've seen it mentioned in quite a few different videos. Now, this 300 views is like a traffic verification process, because obviously a platform like YouTube, or to be honest with you, any type of social media platform, is likely to be hit regularly by spam bots and computer programs. And so they need to have the ability or a way to be able to actually test and see what is going to be classed as traffic, real traffic, and not some computer program that's going bang, 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 bang at your videos. Okay, so I've just got a comment already. Nicola has said, I'm looking forward to this one. Save me doing all the research. Thank Nicola. That is exactly why these videos on my little lives exist. Okay, so what happens is, when you've started to get some traction on your views on your videos, Facebook will actually slow down in the very first few hours, from what I can understand, the actual process of by how it's reporting the views on your videos. Now, this isn't a bad thing, but what it's doing is there is basically an algorithm, a code, basically monitoring how those views are coming. So you're not sitting there hitting like, and watch back to back on your you're getting all your friends and family in the same house and that kind of thing doing it. So essentially, it slows down the view count. Now, obviously, for small channels like me that are still sort of fighting to get to like 200-300 views and things on their videos, this isn't necessarily something that's going to affect us too much at this size. But obviously, when you're a big channel and you've got lots of fans and followers, and you've got quite a lot of oomph behind your business and your channel authority, it can be, I think, from what I've understood on a lot of the forums, a really annoying feature, because you're wanting to see what's going on, and it looks like almost you've come to a stagnant place for a couple of hours after your video's gone live, because the view count is not changing. And that is because the algorithm is literally doing its authenticity checks on how those views are being established on that video, and are they coming from different IP addresses, coming from different people around the world, and all those kind of things, and to make sure basically that you're a genuine video and not someone who's trying to spam the algorithm. So that's the first thing to bear in mind there. Okay, the second thing, direct action. So when you are basically taking action to watch a video, and you click play, that clicking play is a direct action that can only be instigated in that sense from a human being. So that actually classes instantly as a view, which kind of makes common sense. If I was to have asked you this before you watched the video today, you would have probably said, well, someone clicking on the video probably makes it think that it's playing or it's viewing, and that is pretty much the case. But there's lots of ways to get videos playing, and so there is actually 2 or 3 different other metrics that I'm just going to talk to you about as well. So obviously a direct play on a button, on a video, makes that count tick up, as it were, as a view. The other one that I want to say is the 30 seconds play. Now, if you think on playlists, on suggested videos, or autoplay when a video comes to an end, and then you've got that little circle that sort of goes round as it's ready to prepare the next video that it thinks you want to watch. All those kind of autoplay features, they don't class as a view until the video has ranked up at least 30 seconds of playtime. So if that means like you're watching the video for about 5 seconds and then an advert pops up, and obviously you wait for the advert, you skip it, and then you watch a little bit more. If you don't get to 30 seconds, it can be broken. It doesn't have to be a continuous thing, but if you don't get to 30 seconds of watch time on that video, it doesn't class as a view. Now, there are some debates about this because, and I'm going to show you this in a minute on one of the YouTube help pages, because some people are arguing, well, that's only if it's an advertising thing, and some people are adamant that it's across all videos. Okay, so there's one of those little things where maybe you've got to take it a little bit of tongue in cheek as to what exactly works. I mean, at the end of the day, YouTube is never going to announce its algorithm do's and don'ts, and there's no actual specific data on saying 30 seconds. This is from what I've picked up on from looking at like the big players who've been in the industry a long time, with channels that have been like around for like 10 years, sort of talking to me about the playtime aspect, as it were. Right, repeated views is the next one that I want to talk to you about. So there is a way that YouTube monitors your IP address. So obviously at home, in your house, your internet is connected via a router to your Wi-Fi, or your Wi-Fi is connected through the router to your internet service provider. And so when that service provider basically turns on your internet and everything connects, you're getting an IP address, which is like a computer numeric address for your physical location. And YouTube's algorithm has the ability to monitor what that IP address is. So if you sit there and you've got your daughter in one room and your husband in another room, and they're all hitting play on the video that you've just loaded up in the last 5 minutes, it's not going to count, because you're all working and operating within minutes of the video going live from the same IP address. Now, I think from what I can understand, there's like a capping process from the same IP address within about a 4 to 6 hour period. So for example, if like I just said, all your family members or all your office colleagues all in the same room all suddenly watch that video, the IP address is going to be the same, and it's basically not going to count. It's going to cap at about 3, 4, 5 views, and then sort of anything else after that just doesn't exist. It literally stops capping that IP address, or it stops monitoring that IP address. So you can't sort of play the algorithm in that sense. I suppose what you could do if you wanted to be crafty is have all your best mates on speed dial and literally say to them, go, 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 go on WhatsApp or something like that. And everybody around the area, all working on different IP addresses, could probably play the algorithm a little bit. But again, I think after a period of time, if you was to do that same process repeatedly on different videos that you upload, the algorithm is smart enough to know that there is somebody kind of forcing or playing the algorithm, and it's not going to necessarily do you any favors. So just think you can get away with maybe watching a video a couple of times the moment you've uploaded it, but you know, if you completely watch it time and time and time again from your house or the same address, it's not going to count as a view. Okay, so that's kind of bringing that bit to a close. Right, so the last thing I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to you about the YouTube help pages, and I've just realized I've not shared my screen, so give me just literally 30 seconds. She says, trying to duck and dive around my ring light so I can see the screen. Okay, so here you go. You can see here that I have now shared one of the YouTube help pages. Now, this is quite interesting. So basically, this is where I've got a little bit of my facts that kind of are backed up from what other YouTubers have told me. So the frozen view count, that obviously explains a little bit there with regards to the things that I've said with regards to playback and freezing your numbers and things like that if you're doing repeated sort of clicks and stuff like that. So the other thing here, this is where I think the the bit that gets really interesting is about the 30 seconds continuous play that I mentioned at point number, I think it was number 3, because this is where the difference of opinion seems to be kind of like an unknown argument going on within the internet at the moment with regards to YouTube, because I literally have spent, I probably have watched about 20 videos in the last 24 hours, because the moment I realized that this was a thing and I wanted to kind of know the answer for myself, like I always do, is I go deep into a topic and I research hard. And I've watched all of the big players that I follow, like all the business channels, all the YouTube gurus that say how to do this to launch your channel and all the rest of it. They all have this opinion about the 30 seconds, and either some of them are like it's just for the advertising aspect, so the advertisers know where their money's going, and some are like no, it's across the entire board. At the end of the day, there is no hard set given evidence that it is across the whole board. I have been reading the help pages because that's what I do on a Sunday afternoon. But essentially, this is as much information that I've been able to find at the moment. So if anybody watching this video has stumbled across any other facts that I've obviously missed, please enlighten me and please comment below, because I really genuinely want to know as well. So that's kind of where we are today on today's video. So I just thought it might be handy to know what counts as a click. So essentially, you know, direct action for a viewer viewing it. Repeated views will be blocked. Watching your video, let's go with the rule of thumb that you kind of hope that people on autoplay watch it for at least 30 seconds to rank up some views. So if you've got a playlist and you've put it on whilst you're making your dinner and things like that, you've just got to make sure those videos are going at least 30 seconds in for that view to count, things like that. And obviously, bearing in mind that you're all working from the same IP address, it's gonna know. And one other little fact that I'm just going to mention to close on right now, somewhere in my travels, I've got it written down, but I didn't write down which source, so I am going to look this up for the future. But I did stumble across one YouTuber claiming that as a metric, that YouTube has over 80 million different touch points that it analyzes by which to be able to understand what your channel authority is, what is going on, what your likes, dislikes are, and so it can make those suggested content and give you basically the experience that you've got going on at the moment. So 80 million metrics that it monitors, and basically has this algorithm in the background that looks at all these stats and basically scores you. And don't forget, if you've watched any of my other videos, an algorithm is simply a rule book. Does X exist? Yes or no? Make a decision and it will score you on a point. Does X, Y, Z, etc. But it's got 80 million of those metrics. So it's quite a big sort of a task to overcome. But anyway, for those people that out there that claim that they found that they've broken the code, I don't think that's really going to be genuinely the case, but that's my personal opinion. Anyway, I'm going to bring this to a close today. Thank you very much for watching. If anybody does have any comments, now's the time to shout about it before I wrap up today. Other than Nicola's right at the beginning there. So there we go. Nicola said she was saves me doing all the research. So thank you very much for that one, Nicola. And that's it today. So if you've got any suggestions or questions like this that you want me to go deep on a topic, please use the hashtag AskMcCallMedia. And if not, I will see you on another video in a couple of days from now. My name is Angela. This was McCall Media TV. Thank you very much for watching.